How to always have what you want? Well, we all learn to set goals. We learn how to insert them in a timeline if you're trained in timeline therapy. And yet, some people say still they don't get their goals. So what makes it so hard? First, your values, my friends, may not be aligned with your goals. That's one of the things that I keep repeating every time I teach timeline therapy and goal setting. If your values, deep unconscious values, not the surface things that you're aware of consciously, but the deep unconscious values do not support your goal, you will struggle. It's the misalignment that makes that possible. Or your goals are not aligned with your values. So it's kind of the same thing. Another way of saying this is that the conscious mind who set the goal, because you think of your goal consciously, I want this. But your conscious mind is not aligned with the unconscious mind who acts in the moment based on the unconscious values, which the unconscious mind is obeying, it's acting upon, gets you motivated or demotivated in order to set those goals and to go after them, to be motivated to work them, in other words. In the Master Practitioner, I keep saying consciousness equals awareness. Well, awareness of what? See, the first step in the success and achievement of any goal is the awareness of the next 5 necessary conditions and pitfalls. If we're not even aware of what we're doing, consciousness equals awareness, there is not even a beginning of conscious focus, which is absolutely vital in the accomplishment of goals, no matter how big or small they are. So first of all, what I call the senses, the desires provoked by our senses and the little pleasures. You see something beautiful and you get immediately enthralled, or you smell something really tasty. You are tired and you reach for the glass of something, right? You smell something really tasty. And your attention and focus, it's so easy to be distracted. And all of that detracts from your conscious goal, as the unconscious mind goes first after the pleasures of the 5 senses. So even more specific, what's the trigger that sets up that behavior? So here I am, I'm sitting and I know I want to do this project, whatever that is, okay? Or I want to take this action, whatever that may be. Could be in any area of life. Could be in business, in career, in making more money, in setting up a new website, in doing my marketing, in behaving differently in my relationships, in learning to say no. And so, I mean, examples are as many people are around. So. But here we go. And I set up to do it, and all of a sudden I do something else. I smell that smell and I stop and I go get that cookie. Or if I'm at work and I'm in a team and somebody comes with a slice of pizza, I stopped because I want, all of a sudden I'm hungry, right? So what's the trigger? What's the thing that sets up that behavior? So I'm set up to do something, I'm interrupted by something, and then my attention goes somewhere else. It could be as simple as you set up to do something and your phone blinks or the screen lights on. And it's just you stop what you're doing and you pick up your phone to check your messages. That's how simple it is. So we need to first of all be conscious of what is the trigger that stops us to proceed in what we need to do, in the action we need to take that leads us toward our goal. And that works for small goals, daily goals, as it works the same way for gigantically big goals. It's the same thing, it's the same pattern. Once conscious, that trigger can be modified, can be changed so it doesn't interrupt what we're doing. Because technically you know at the conscious level that you could check your phone 15 minutes later or half an hour later or after you're done with what you're just doing right now. You're in the middle of writing an email or you're in the middle of talking to somebody, right? And all of a sudden you're distracted by anything. It could be a visual, you see something, or whoa, or you smell something, or you are touched, or you touch something in a certain way, or you smell, or you taste, you're drinking something, you're tasting something, it could be anything, right? So, but the point being that the trigger can be modified, and for those of you who understand NLP, these are some modalities that's in the process called the point of resolution process that we learn in the Master Practitioner. Now, number two, so what's this number one? Number two, when challenges and obstacles arise, and they will, the mind focuses on how hard it is. Matter of focus again, with the same effect. It loses focus on the goal. You understand? It's the same effect. So I want to go to the gym, right? And I set my mind that tomorrow morning I'm going to the gym. But I wake up and would you believe it, it's pouring rain outside. And then I find out all the reasons and how hard it is and how inconvenient it is to get myself to the gym because it's raining outside. So I'm losing focus. Well, do I want to go to the gym or not? Because if I really want to go to the gym, doesn't matter the weather outside, I will make it to the gym. I can take a jacket with a hood or an umbrella and, I won't get wet and I'll end up in the gym. That's very simple. Now, this is just an example, the gym, but you generalize because it works the same way everywhere else. When obstacles arise, we focus on how hard it is and we lose focus on the goal. I'm going somewhere with this because focus presupposes your energy. Just stay with me. Number three, do you really want that goal that you set up? Or did you just set it up because it's a good idea? Maybe somebody else says, oh, it's a good idea. And you say, oh, yeah, it's a good idea. Do you really want it? Now, if you really want it, the goal is aligned with your values. If it's not, there might be problems. So do you really want it? Or do you want to want it? Think of it. Because that which is not really useful for your path will always catch up with you. So, for example, just before Master Practitioner, this May, I worked with a gentleman that was very, very accomplished financially. And I mean very accomplished financially. I'll let you mind read what that means. And he didn't have any problems, and he was getting always motivated in taking action and doing everything, and he was very, very, very astute businessman. Now, all his energy and attention was put toward that. The problem that he gave me in the coaching we did together, it was that despite and in spite his incredible wealth, he felt empty inside. That's what he described. I feel empty inside. I feel it's a hole, it's a vacuum, it's nothing. I feel empty inside. So what you really want, is it useful, really useful for your path? Because that which is lacking requires your attention. Because if you refuse to pay attention, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, eventually it will catch up with you. And we said when we discussed values and goals, that you should have goals in order to have a balanced life. You should have goals in all areas of life. The big main areas of life are career, family, relationships, health and fitness, personal development, and spirituality. So that doesn't mean you should spend the same amount of time for the accomplishment of those goals. Of course, you sleep for 8 hours, I hope you do. You work for 8 hours, and so the day has only 24 hours, right? But a little bit, each area has to be attended to, and the best way to attend to is to have goals. Because that which is not really useful, you spend time with your focus is distracted, going in all directions like this, eventually will catch up with you. Number 4 now. One of the extremely important distinctions in setting goals is to be able to let go of your need and keep the want. As we say in timeline therapy and creating your future, how to set goals using the timeline, you need to let go of the want. Let go of attachments. This idea of letting go, by the way, is unfathomably difficult for most people. See, that when you have a need, the presupposition is that you're not going to be okay if you don't have that, or be that, or do that, which it is that you envision and desire. And paradoxically, as long as you are that attached, it will not happen. Or alternatively, you'll have to struggle and struggle and struggle to achieve any of your goals. This is not to say you should not have or should not be or do whatever it is that you want. It's the attachment that makes it so hard, if not impossible. And here is like a metaphor. You write the most important and most beautiful an email in which you had to think of. It's not just one line response, it's something important, and you spend time, and you wrote it, but you never pressed the send button. There is a big difference between wanting and needing. See, the word need carries with it a deep presupposition. A need presupposes I'm not going to be all right unless I get that, whatever it is that I want. The wanting is different. The wanting provides the emotional energy, the emotional support that makes your motivation remain high to go after what you want, despite obstacles. And we'll talk about obstacles next. So, yes, you do everything to get what you want, but you know very well that you will be okay, even without that. This is very obvious in relationships, in financial money goals as well, but in relationships, I'm going to just give you an example in relationships. Again, you generalize, okay? So, I need the relationship. It's going to be terrible. I'm going to be so lonely. I'm so afraid. And then it's almost like, and you may have seen people who are so needy that somehow everybody kind of feels that and pulls away. Yes, it's a difference between saying, I want a relationship, I want a great relationship, but I'm okay and I'll be just fine without one. Do you understand the difference? This is very, very important. Because, see, is what you have, what you possess, are you having it, or is it having you? Number 5, obstacles. Let's talk about obstacles. In the moment you set a goal, in that moment, the very moment your future memory hits your timeline, if you use your future timeline to insert goals as we do in timeline therapy, in that very moment, all the obstacles are already in place as well. You put them in there. It's the starting point of an action that sends ripples in the universe, like touching the water. So here is the thing. So there is a very still pond of water, totally still, totally immovable, okay? And all of a sudden you either drop a pebble or touch the water. You set in moment ripples. You set in motion ripples. So you instantly create the ripples. You insert a goal just like that. The moment your goal is inserted in your future memory of the goal is inserted in your future timeline, you set in motion the ripples. That moment you touch the water. That moment you put a pebble right in. So the ripples become the obstacles. See, because if there were no obstacles, you would already have that, or be that, or do that. Your unconscious mind uses a system that I explained many times called the reticular activating system, which starts the process of scanning, and showing you opportunities that are aligned with that goal. Anything that you need, you automatically start pulling toward you. Any obstacle, you automatically start pushing out, isn't it? Oh, I don't want this. I don't like these obstacles. I want it easy. Well, you inserted the goal. If there weren't any obstacle, you would have it already, as I said 1 moment ago. And yet most people don't want, they push out. Either you're needy and you pull it in so hard, or the obstacles, you push them out like this. Any of the two, pursued out of need, creates this attachment which is very strong and will create difficulties, because anything that you resist persists, and anything that you persist resists. It's the law of duality and balance. If you push hard against something, you will get resistance from the other side. If you pull very hard on something, there is the tendency for that thing to pull back in the state of balance, neutrality. Try it, you push against somebody. They have to resist you, otherwise they'll fall over. If you pull them toward you, they'll have to resist you, because otherwise they'll fall over. Right? It's the law of duality and balance. And so, sadly, many of us want things so easy and without any effort, not even the effort of thinking. But in order to get goals and get exactly what you want, you need to have patience, consistency, endurance, resilience, training. Are they all really necessary? Or does it ever happen that goals simply manifest? No, if you ask me ever, yes, I'll have to say yes, always. There is always an exception to the rule. But my friends, 99.99999% of the time, goals begin to happen only when we start the action. We need to drop that pebble in the water. We need to touch that water. So all these questions and these ideas actually increase the chances of getting exactly what you wanted the way you want it, because the universe responds to action. So you must take the first step without fear, anxiety, impatience, doubts, and all those. These are again waste of energy. Now, I said I'm going somewhere with the focus, and I'm going to the idea of energy. I keep saying for several years now, you have two essential commodities in life, and they're both in short supply. One is time, and the other one is energy. See, if you spend your energy with your distraction, your phone blinks, as I said, there is a smell, and all of a sudden you drop what you're doing because you want to go eat something. You see something else, and all of a sudden your attention goes there or there, but it's not where you want to focus. So all the energy that you could put toward your goal now goes all over the place. You are in the middle of something and you remember, oh, did I fed my puppy dog, or did I do this, or finish what you're doing and then attend to the other stuff, or take care of it before. Either one. But if your energy is going in all directions like this, it's like a balloon with holes. Because if you spend your energy everywhere else, and you let your focus that you want toward your goal disperse your energy all over the place, you waste also a lot of time, because it will take you so long to get your goal, not to speak of running low on energy, you know? So learn how to plug those holes. And ultimately, this is the last thing I want to address. Be willing to step outside of your comfort zone. In the trainings, we call this the gray zone. We have the metaphors of gray zone, which is a place where you're comfortable. It's not good, but it's not bad. Be willing to be a little uncomfortable, sometimes very uncomfortable, depending on your goal. If you dream of something, and at the first sign of uncomfortableness, confusion, hard working hours, maybe lack of sleep, uncertainty, I don't know how to proceed, I don't know what to do next, and so on and so forth. Yeah? You run away and retreat and go back to mindless scrolling, or even worse nowadays, ask AI how to do the work for you, because you're unwilling to even think. Your goal is already dead. It's a little like when you're going to the gym. See, you reach a weight limit where you can push, and then you're willing to add just a little more. Not too much as to harm yourself, but a tiny little more, and then again a little more. So your body reaches another comfort zone, But then you add a little more and a little more. If you were to run away the first time it hurts and you encounter obstacles, as I said, your goal's already there. It has no life in it. It's like a balloon, deflated. Air is out. Every goal you set represents in a way some sort of growth. Actually, it is a growth. Be it through what you want to have to possess, or what you want to do, or what you want to be or become. To step outside, intelligently and wisely, outside of your comfort zone, there'll never be any growth. If you're visiting a new place, I just thought of this. For instance, the Taj Mahal or the Grand Pyramid in Cairo in Egypt, or any wonderful place like this, and never leave the hotel you're in, because the hotel is so wonderful and comfortable. You cannot even say you've been there. The same is with what you learn in our training, by the way. If you learn something useful, the first time you go through it, you're stepping outside of your comfort zone. It's new. It's unfamiliar. That's why you're learning it. Now, if you go back home and you retreat into the safety of your old routine, very soon what you learned will be forgotten. Like your trip to the Taj Mahal or the Grand Pyramid. But if that would be it, life would be incredibly boring. I can't even imagine. 20 years later, doing the same thing, being the same old you, having the same old habits and things. No growth, no development, just nothing. But if you start practicing every day a little more from what you learned, very soon, all you learn will be just as comfortable as your habitual ways. It will become your comfort zone. Now, this is an example only. Generalize, and you'll have all your goals achievable and easy. Because easy will have had a different meaning for you. I hope this helps. Be well, my friends.